Who do you need? Who do you love when you come undone? I'll tell you one thing, Charley don't need Jacob Boudreaux, that's for sure. No, baby, that's not what you need. That's sleeping with the enemy, damn near. Polo boy nose just wide open after tonight. Oh, you already know what time it is because you clicked on this video and you read the description and the caption. We are here to talk about Queen Sugar. This is in season 3. We are in episode 5, a little lower than Angels. I am Miss Sophia the Diva. Please be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and click the notification button as well. And I also enjoy thumbs ups and comments. Go figure. Anywho, tonight's episode, Ava, Oprah, and the rest of y'all over there at Queen Sugar, y'all wrong. I mean, I was like, it's too much. It's just too much. Oh my God, Blue and, oh my God, who else was crying? Charley in the bathtub and David's sorry ass confessing his past discretions while the wounds are still fresh from this divorce. He ain't shit. Anywho, let us traverse and discuss this episode in depth. So when we open up, Darla is on this field trip that she begged and pleaded for Ralph Angel to allow her to go on with Blue, and Blue is happy. When she drops him off at Aunt Vi and Uncle Hollywood's. Aunt Vi see her, she just like, but when Blue is like, hey, baby, come on now. Aunt Vi, I got to see sharks and everything. And, you know, of course, we as adults, we always engage our little ones, our little nieces, nephews, cousins, and, you know, all of our village children. So Aunt Vi was like, you know, I'm going to, you know, be nice to Blue, but I don't like your mom. Your mama ain't shit. That's bottom line. I'm going to treat her like that. She's talking about, Miss Violet. And Vi, come on, baby, let's go inside and, you know, let's do this. So, Darla, yeah, you ain't shit, girl. You know, I mean, you were in shit damn near when they found Blue, and this family has taken him in, and you sit here and lied and told Ralph Angel he the daddy, and he ain't the daddy. What's wrong with you? So, as you all know, Aunt Vi is suffering. Let me not say suffering. She's living and adjusting her life to her new normal, which is that of the elusive disease, lupus. And Vi, of course, is having these diet changes, and Nova has done all of this research on what's healthy, and Blue and Hollywood just ain't here for it. It's like, baby, no. What is it, steak and who? I was like, oh, Jesus, put some more onions in there. Ain't onions good for your immune system? I don't know. But Blue was like, this ain't good. Hollywood like, it's good. Blue like, this shit ain't good. Like, where the peas? Where the greens? Where the ham hocks? What the hell is this? This is not how Aunt Vi normally cooks. So that was a cute scene. I also enjoyed how Hollywood, you know, was trying to be nice and polite about eating, and even he couldn't fake it. That's how terrible the food tasted. Therefore, we know now that it is going to be a huge upheaval of lifestyle changes. It may even come down to the point to where Aunt Vi may have to just provide, you know, everyone else's meal and then hers. That's a little complicated, but I know when I have dinner parties and stuff like that, if people have dietary needs, I will adjust accordingly and make them something separate and apart. Like, for instance, my ex all of a sudden got on this kick of not wanting to eat pork anymore because he thinks in the Bible it still is viable. And maybe it is, I don't know, but I was like, God forgive me, I love bacon. So either way, I like how Hollywood is really trying to help Aunt Vi, because in the end, him and Blue have this moment together because they done snuck off and got real food, okay? Some burgers and some chicken McNuggets and all that stuff. And they're discussing the marriage. And Blue is like, you know, are you and Aunt Vi going to have a baby? He was like, no, we can't have babies. He was like, well, maybe when my mom and dad get married, they can have a baby. And I'm like, baby, your mama and dad ain't getting married. As a matter of fact, your dad, honestly, could probably go Wolverine on your mama at any moment, okay? So I could tell Hollywood was pained by this reality that Blue still has not been informed. Darla even reaches out to Ralph Angel and is like, oh, we need to talk and we need to tell Blue. Seems like a lot of parents want to confess in this episode, but we'll get into that. So when they finally do tell Blue, Ava, y'all ain't right. That was so gut-wrenching. That poor little baby's world was real. And he was like, he didn't know what reality he was in. All he knew was that his mom and daddy were going to be together. But now he found out that I'm going to end up having to be separate and apart from my mom and dad. And that's why it's so hard these days when you see people in these family units. That's why you have to be very careful about who you fall in love with, who you lay down with, who you procreate with. I think, honestly, if we had a family unit, and I'm not this fake pseudo, because y'all know I'm a very liberal person. So, but I'm just saying, maybe sometimes if you really look at it, if we really had true family units, maybe we wouldn't have so many broken adults running around here from childhood hurts and taking it out on everyone else. Just food for thought. Speaking of just food for thought, Micah is taking a very active role in his community by being like I would say the new millennial civil rights movement photographer. I hope he ain't part of Corntail Pro. You know, the civil rights man that was always out there taking pictures. He was reported back to the FBI and CIA. Anyway, it's always one of us. Micah and his friends are hanging out at the house. His mom comes in. She's like, oh my God, all these black children in my house. No, true. All those public school kids in my house, they probably ain't got no home training. No, I'm tripping. But I think that it kind of bothers Charley that we haven't seen Sister Kiki around. You know, she's like, where's Kiki? That's like always her question to Micah. Yeah, Micah, where is Kiki? What's going on? Why y'all ain't really kicking it like y'all were? And I also wonder if Kiki really isn't into this whole movement, standing up for your rights type of thing that Micah is into right now. But we'll see. I love how Aunt, who seems to be very well-read, you know, he's like, y'all ain't got no regular milk in here? Shit. He was like, Michael, like, we got almond milk. And he like, oh. And then when Charley was there, he was like, look, it take more water to make an almond than it does to just for us to all have regular milk. So that was interesting, but needless to say, they go to this plantation. People are getting married. So anyways, the children the teens go to this plantation and just kind of hang out and take pictures of the scene. And, you know, they sit on the furniture and stuff because from what I understand, these plantations are supposed to be interactive, but because they are black children or teens who probably look more like black hooligans, this man that works at the plantation was like, those right there are 250-year-old pieces of furniture. And Aunt was like, and it's 250-year-old furniture that my ancestors probably made. I was like, more likely than not, yeah. Which always fascinates me, how white people always want to say that black people are lazy, because I'm like, for 400 years you sat on your ass and did nothing and watched all the black people sweat. You couldn't even nurse your own babies. You had to impregnate slaves and let them feed your baby, but yet you don't like black people, but black milk was okay for your kids. That's why I tell people racism is a mental defect. Anyone who thinks the way that they think about people just because of the color of their skin, something's wrong with them. But anyways, I digress. Let's get back to the story at hand. So I like the fact that Aunt took a stand. I'm glad that they left, because sometimes, honestly, you don't want the cops to get called. It could have been another Black Lives Matter and you would have been a hashtag. Also, here we see Ralph Angel not only having to deal with Darla, but Ralph Angel got a new love, because he looking for a new love, baby. A new love. Because he gonna be, what's that song? Boot up, boot up, boot up. Anywho, the Vietnamese family, he's hanging out with them, breaking bread, or I should say rice rolls with them. I love Asian cuisine. I had a conversation the other day, and I honestly would not be surprised But one of my new friends and I, we were talking, and he was like, you know, anytime you have some sort of attraction, we all live off of energy. Because I've always been fascinated with Asian culture, and I love Asian food. Um, but I really do. And so I wouldn't be surprised once I take this DNA test that I find out that some of my heritage, of course, is on the Asian continent in addition to Mother Africa. But let me digress again. I'm always going off on these tangents, but hey, when you come to listen to the diva, you might learn a little something and just go on with your life. Knowledge is power. Amen. Amen. So he shoots his shot later on after the dinner, right? And he was like, you know, I was thinking maybe you and me, girl, you know, we could hang out this weekend. And she's like, oh, I don't know if that's possible. I got to do this with my aunt, my cousin, my sister, my brother. I got to go lay out and get some songs. You know, it's just not going to be a good weekend. He was like, oh, okay, I see how it is. And then he walks off and she's like, but wait, Ralph Angel, there's 6 other days in the week. Hello, Ralph Angel. Be patient, brother. Calm down. Don't be so quick to be reactionary. So, hey, it's a date on Monday. Okay? What? I mean, I honestly am so excited to see this family dynamic going on. I mean, I really enjoy the family dynamic with Blue and Uncle Hollywood and Aunt Vi. I always like that. It's so, I love having aunts that are so cool. In addition, Ralph Angel is also being patient with the young man who has joined the farm to work. He is a former felon. And he's got some troubles. Something went down. One of the things I hated about this is learning that his grandmother didn't want him to live at her house. You know, he's still adjusting to life outside prison walls. It's a different world from what I understand when you do go to prison. So people try a little tenderness with your loved ones who really are trying to get themselves together. If you can give them a place to stay, you know, put your rules in place. If they can't live with them, so be it. Give them a second chance, because you're always talking about, oh, the rate of recidivism and our brothers and fathers are all being locked up. Yeah, because y'all don't provide any support. Now, I ain't gonna lie. If they went to prison for stealing and they've been stealing their whole damn lives, I understand. To this day, one of my crackhead cousins still owe me $20. Who steals from a 12-year-old? But needless to say, Ralph Angel finally like, look, I'm not going to let you go down that path, because some street he was going to go ahead and stay with somebody. Apparently, it's not a good street, not a good place to be, not a good scene. So that will keep him from getting in trouble and getting his parole revoked. Kudos to Ralph Angels and others out there like Ralph Angel. I just pray that it's a wise decision and that this young man doesn't bite the hand that feeds him. Remy and Nova. Baby, look. So I think Remy realizes I chose wrong. Nova was the woman for me all this time. You know, he's constantly flirting with her. Ooh, you still writing? He was like, ooh, I'm going to be the first one down to the bookstore. You always write. You want to go fishing? They go fishing. He done prepared everything. You not taking this laptop. You know, my Nova's like, this is so complicated. What kind of fishing is this? I was like, girl, you and me both. Because I was like, I don't do rods and reels. Like I said, I had a cane pole growing up and would dig baits out from under the bricks up under the walking path. Like they weren't cemented in. We would just turn them over, especially after it rained. You could always get earthworms. Just get in there and get them. In the end, she caught a fish and she's like, ooh, you gonna cook? I was like, so are y'all just hanging out, or is this like a fishing date? And then we found out it was a date, a love connection. In fact, ooh, we saw fireworks when Nova and Remy were kissing. And in the moment before it happened, she was talking about she had talked previously about the fact that her mother's life probably would have been different if she had never gotten pregnant. And it sounds to me like it was one of those situations that a lot of people find themselves in. You got pregnant, you better get married. And so she got married and never realized some of the dreams she could have had, I suppose. And Nova says she never wants to be talked into anything again. She also expresses that people always want something from her a piece of her that she doesn't even have. And in my mind, I'm like, how can you even give somebody something that you don't have? So that shouldn't even be an issue. And Remy got real talking about you need someone that just wants you, Nova, not Nova, the activist, the writer, the publisher, the root worker. No, we need just simply Nova. And then they kissed. Ooh, Charley. Ooh, Charley gonna be so devastated. Child. I called it polite flirting. So I think that's all of the other issues in this episode. All right. Hey, y'all. Davis ain't shit. That's the bottom line. As you know, last episode, Micah was the first to learn that he has a sister, a 13-year-old sister that was born out of an extramarital affair that Davis had with some woman. Every time the phone rings and Micah finds out it's his dad now, he doesn't want his mother to answer the phone. He doesn't want to talk to his father. And you know, Charley's like, okay, this is weird. But then again, I think in Charley's mind, she's like, sometimes the relationship with her son and his father can be complicated. And Micah's a teenager. And so they have a lot of emotions and things that go on with them. Davis called and said he needs to come over and talk. Charley's like, cool. He comes over and he's like, but he basically just told Charley about 13 years ago, I had an affair and I have a daughter and the mom has died. And well, I'm going back to LA to be there to take care of her. What? Come again? And then Charley was like, in our city, he was like, I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, the wounds are still fresh. Like, y'all just got divorced, okay? This woman has had your back and you rewarded her time and time again with your trifleness. You ain't shit, Davis. You ain't shit. Bottom line. And then talking about you gonna move for her. And then she was like, I don't want to see that girl's face for you to use it to make me feel some kind of way. This whole time. So Davis had probably been taking care of this kid for years and never said a mumbling word. And of course, it's easy for someone like him. Oh, I got to go to this for sports. I got to go do this for sports. I got to go to practice. Oh, practice ran a little long. I mean, what were the stories you were telling Charley when you were off playing dad to your other family? So Charley is upset, honey. Oh, she is so upset and so brokenhearted. She tells him to get out. And he talking about, I've always been a damn good daddy. Have you? Have you? Did you think about Micah when you went out and cheated on his mother? And then Charley really lost it when she found out that Davis had told Micah first. That's kind of something that both parents need to have a conversation about. But knowing Davis, he probably thought it was best to tell Micah because Charley would probably want to engage in a cover-up. So that's fucked up on so many levels. And it happens where you find out your husband ain't been as faithful as you thought he was. Oh, child. So Charley is coming undone. She didn't call him Vi. She didn't call her brother, her sister. No one can be found. Well, there's Jesus, and he'll never let you down. Shout out to Darryl Colin. May he rest in peace. But instead, there is a text message from that good old boy, that good old French Creole or whatever he is, Jacob Boudreaux. Of course, Charley's like, no, I don't want to talk about reports right now. Yes, I do, because I need to dig up dirt. I still got to honor my father's legacy. Next thing we know, Charley is down to the bar with this man getting her drink on, and you just like, they hit Jack Daniels, okay? I'm just like, okay. My thing is, I guess she didn't want to call Romero. Child, I would have called Romero over Jacob Boudreaux any day. And it's to me like the reason why I did that little clip of the song "He Won't Ever Let You Down" is because it's amazing how whenever you really need somebody to talk to, I think sometimes God, and even in the writer's writings, it is an example of how you really need to just go ahead and turn to God and not a man and Jack Daniels. But I understand she was on a mission because she kept asking about his brother. Some dudes walk up and said something about the business dealings they were doing with the Boudreaux, and Jacob like cuts them off. So something is up with that. And we saw in the previews coming up that something is up and they won't talk about it. Your love is smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Your love is sweet as strawberry wine. And honey, that Jack Daniels ain't nothing like some liquor, some country music, and a broken heart to have you run to Satan, baby. She all crying and slow dancing. Jacob was drunk. I love Jesus. Ah! I was like, what is going on here? Charley, get it together. Then she drunk outside and they kissing in public in front of the OK Corral Saloon. I'm like, what the? Baby, Davis did a number on you and he ain't shit. I'm going to continue to say it. Davis West ain't shit. How come the daughter can't come live in St. Joe's? What about your son? I mean, I know he about to go to college or whatever, but you ain't shit, Davis. That's all I got to say. Then she in the bathtub. I said, Lord, this looked like Empire when the oldest son was in the shower crying and having a meltdown. I said, Lord Jesus. Either way, this was a heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching episode of Queen Sugar. We're all a little lower than angels. But that doesn't mean that we can't be angel-like here on earth. And I think Ralph Angel was indeed the angel this time in helping that young man. I wish more of us could do more for former felons. But that's all I've got. Next week, we see Micah getting a little bit aggressive with the good old boys in town who was calling them out and trying to speak ill, which is, that right there is just ignorant too. That's another thing ignorant ass, racist ass white folk do. They love to roll around and call people out their names. Like, why don't you go and do something constructive with your time? Hell, learn a foreign language. Oh, that's right. We need to speak American. Every time I hear something, I'm like, it's English, you idiot. English. It's not American. It's English. Darla seems to be trying to be a little trippy with Ralph Angel about Blue. I guess Ralph Angel disciplined him in some form or fashion, and she's upset about it. So she's leveraging the fact, well, he's not really his daddy. I can take him at any time. And Nova's relationship status with Remy appears to be a Facebook status of, it's complicated, baby, because you and Charley going to be out there in the front lawn fighting. But at this point, Charley also goes out to these land surveyors who she thought was part of the EPA, but it turns out something else is probably going on. Until next week, I have been Miss Afia the Diva. And yes, we love who we love, but sometimes it can be complicated.